Hello and welcome to the Hub World Podcast. My name is Jules, and today I am joined by,
Matteo?
And Gino.
and today we are going to talk about some games that I'm sure everybody has very dear to their heart, ignited by a very specific game that is coming out soon. But for those of you that don't know, the next entry in the Mario Golf franchise, Mario Golf Super Rush, will be launching in just over a month from today, the recording date, on June 25th. Um, because we know that we're just a couple weeks away from E3, and we know that we're going to want to talk about Mario Golf, we thought we would talk about it a little bit earlier because we know um, we all of us will probably have our eyes and our ears and our attention on other things in June. So
Of Cough
we're going to talk about
E3.
it. Yeah, so there will be bigger games. Not that Mario Golf isn't a big game, but there will be newer announcements and other things to talk about. So we're going to talk about Mario Sports today. Um, so to kick it off, this isn't just going to be about Mario Golf Super Rush. We are going to talk about Mario Sports as a genre in general. But kind of like begin with Mario Golf. So to kick it all off, we're gonna each share which is our favorite Mario Sports game and why. Now, by Mario Sports, I don't mean don't say like I like Mario Tennis as in like the whole series. You got to say specifically which is the your favorite specific Mario Sports game.
Are we going to count Mario Kart as Mario Sports?
Mario Kart is a separate entity. Mario Kart is not part of Mario Sports. If you would like to hear our thoughts on Mario Kart, you can go all the way back to what I believe was our episode 3 or 4, where we discussed Mario Kart. If you had missed that, but today we will not be including Kart in our discussion.
Good plug. Good plug.
Yeah,
Very
it was a good
yeah.
plug.
Yeah.
So I will start. Um, I think I want to say Mario Tennis 64, but like there's so many good Mario Sports games. Just want to get that out there right away. Like every series is dear to my heart, but I think the one that should get more love and is deserving of more love from Nintendo and from fans is Mario Strikers. And particularly the very first Mario Strikers game, Mario Strikers for GameCube, came out in 2005. That game is arguably the best Mario sports game in my opinion, but also I think it's probably one of the best multiplayer games on GameCube, period. That game had no business being as good as it was. Soccer and Mario fit like the way the Mario series or the Mario Sports or the Mario Striker series took like twisted soccer, like 3 on 3. I think it was three. No, it was 4 on 4 because you had a captain and three partners. But like the fast gameplay, the big hits. I didn't play with items, but back in the day, items or I don't play with items, but back in the day, items were fun, and like I liked how uh, every character had like it was Mario with attitude, which was kind of like I don't think they've done that. Nintendo's really gone that kind of like went with that tone in a Mario game since Mario Strikers Charged, its sequel. But like I just think next level games or whoever should have another crack at the Mario Strikers series. Like that should come back because like I personally looking back at Charged, I don't think Charged is aged as well as original Strikers because of like the motion controls and the tweaks they made to the formula that they had from the first game. But Mario Strikers is still fun to this day. It's you got to play it like Smash Bros though. No items and no gimmicks. Just pure Mario Strikers gameplay. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Joe,
agree
don't
with
hate me if you hear this.
yeah. Well, Joe was he was on the leaderboard, I think, for Strikers Charged for the longest time.
He
He
was
was like,
number 7 in the world in the first week that the game came out.
yeah. That's handsome. And Joe, we did have a lot of fun with those games. I think this is before we actually became like friends as a group because we were younger. I remember going over to one of our childhood friends' houses, and it was either between Mario Strikers 1 for the GameCube or
Kirby Air
Kirby Air
Ride.
Ride. Now that's got to be its own separate thing, like hidden
Actually,
gems.
but like we discovered in our original friend group, Gino, we discovered Mario Strikers because our dad bought it for us for Christmas. He got it for us for Christmas, and I remember being disappointed when I got it because I wanted Mario Baseball.
Yeah,
And
you
he's
wanted
like,
Mario
"No, the
Baseball
guy at
instead.
EB Games told me Mario Strikers is a better Mario sports game or better game in general." And I just want to thank the guy that worked at EB Games for telling my dad about that because
Back
probably
when you
would
would
not
get
be
like,
would not be talking about my love for Mario Strikers right now if it wasn't for him. So shout out to him.
I do want to actually say for my favorite Mario sports game is Mario Tennis. Not for just to be cheeky with Jules or anything here, but like the OG Mario Tennis on the N64. That game is amazing. It's simple. It's like the rules were nice and clean. Like there wasn't any of this like superpower or like saving shots or anything like that. It was a tennis game with Mario characters, and that's why it was good. It was a tennis game first, and they just threw the Mario formula into it. Like, okay, you have Bowser, Peach, and like you have some like zany stages and stuff like the Piranha Plant thing and like other things like that. But it was mostly like, okay, it was a clay court, a grass court, and the composite course and everything. Go have at it. Your skills will be tested, and that's what I really enjoyed about the original Mario Tennis games. And then like if you had the Game Boy Color like tie-in Mario RP like sports RPG games, you could import your characters and they would just break the game completely. I remember Adriano came over with his like the transfer pack thing or whatever it was to connect into his game. He brought in his custom characters
They were OP.
and they were broken and it was just not it just made the game more fun but not fun at the same time, and I think we still have them on our original cartridge as well.
Yep, we do.
Yeah, we still have them. And then like I honestly wish that they continue with those Mario sports RPGs because like being able to like, and hopefully with like the new Mario Golf game, like we'll have like a taste of that. But yeah, Mario Tennis for me, it was my first Mario sports game, and it's still I think one of the better ones. And like even every now and then we'll fire up the old N64 and play it, and it's aged very well. And like even comparing it to power what's the latest Mario Tennis Aces,
Aces.
it still plays really really well.
Now, Gino,
Yeah.
you forgot to mention the most important thing Mario Tennis N64 brought to the Mario series, Waluigi, the Mario character that deserves to be in Smash Bros. More than any other Mario character.
Wahaha.
Yeah, Waluigi
Yeah.
fans need to be heard by Sakurai.
Yep. Mario Tennis. Yeah, I honestly forgot that was Waluigi's debut. I thought Waluigi's debut was Mario Party 3 for whatever reason. And this is like before Waluigi got his like odd like wah, like that those kind of noises. He was more like Waluigi, kind of like that. It was like really like baritone, almost bass,
Mhm.
and
I
like
don't.
menacing.
No. I was gonna say, Jules, do you have anything to add about Strikers or Mario Tennis 64? Or
Nothing to add about those games, no.
what's your favorite then?
Uh, I'd have to say honestly, it's probably Mario Golf Toadstool Tour. I've always been very into the Mario Golf games, and I feel like Mario Golf Toadstool Tour is Mario Golf at its peak. I really like Mario Golf World Tour, the 3DS one, but there's just something different about playing it on a console and playing it with friends, which is why I'm like super excited for Mario Golf Super Rush. But I think Toadstool Tour is my favorite. It was the debut of I think it was the first sports game following Mario Sunshine. So it was the playable debut of characters like Bowser Jr. And Petey Piranha, which was pretty
Okay,
exciting.
but Toadstool 2 are also was the first Mario sports game that had Diddy Kong as a playable character. Because
Yep.
it actually did it come out after Double Dash actually? Because I know Diddy Kong was in Double Dash also.
I am fact checking right now, and
Roll, please.
yes, it was Toadstool Tour came out about 3 months before Double Dash, so it was the playable
Hey,
debut for characters like Diddy Kong and Bowser Jr. and Petey Piranha um in the Mario Sports / Mario spin-off titles. So I don't know, I thought it was really cool. It had a solid roster. The maps were good. The ring challenge was frustrating as hell. The mini golf wasn't quite there from the original game, but like they also had the pitch and putt course that was all par threes, which I thought was really fun. And just in general, I love Mario Golf. But I also do
was
want
it?
to give
Oh,
a bit of a
go
shout
ahead.
out to a different game, which is Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Which I'm not joking. I really like the original Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
Yeah, I do too. I like the first two. The
First two are really good. Apparently the newest one is really good. I haven't been waiting for it to go on sale enough to play it. I think I've mentioned that already in a podcast.
I think that
Um,
was you mentioned in the Sonic
the
podcast
Sonic
that we
one.
did. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's one of those ones that I really want to play. Especially Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games that never happened. Yes, it was the Sonic one.
If we're gonna give shout outs, like I said earlier, Mario Baseball on
Yeah.
GameCube. I prefer Mario Baseball on GameCube more than Mario Sluggers on Wii, but they're both good games.
What Mario Hoops on
And that was the other one
DS?
I was say, Mario Hoops 3-on-3 on DS. I love that game. That was like
Yeah,
that
it's
was one of
like
the first DS games I had.
developed by Square of everyone.
And like the thing, I never knew as a kid. Like I didn't know that the guest characters in that game were Final Fantasy characters. So I'm like, who the heck's this cactus guy? Who the heck is this like flying white bat creature thing? There's a ninja and shit. Like I had no idea about. I didn't really know. I knew the name Final Fantasy. I just didn't know the characters, and I just thought them like I thought they were like weird additions to the game. But like that game was really fun. I don't think it probably won't hold up if I replay it, but like I just remember having a good time playing that game. But the main shout outs I'd like to give would be the Mario baseball games,
Yep.
particularly
And
on GameCube.
yeah, I prefer the Wii Mario Baseball, but the Mario Baseballs are also really fun. And speaking of Mario Who's 3-on-3, and like I don't think a lot of people would say this, but the sequel to Mario Hoops 3-on-3, Mario Sports Superstars, I believe it's called. No, it's not
Mario
Mario
Sports
Sports.
Sports
Mix.
mixed.
Mario
Mhm.
Sports Mix. Yes, sorry. Mario Sports Superstars was the really bad 3DS one. Mario Sports Mix on Wii is actually like because I picked it up a few years back and I played it recently. Surprisingly, really good. The only issues with it are like the only major issue for me, and the reason I think I didn't play it more was that the unlockables are tied to the sport. So, for example, if you unlock White Mage when you're playing volleyball, you only unlock White Mage for volleyball, and then you have to unlock her in all the other sports as well, which I thought was ridiculous.
That is kind of dumb.
There's a little bit too many unlockables. But some of the sports like volleyball kick some butt in that game. It's so fun to play volleyball. Um, Hockey's okay. Basketball is just like Mario Hoops. It's really good. Um, Dodgeball, I'm not sure. I don't think I've gotten around to playing dodgeball much to be able to tell. But that's a
Do you think
pretty fun
oh,
game.
yeah. Do you think it started off as like a Mario Hoops like console sequel, and then they just like grew it out to
I'm not
be
sure.
everything else?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I won't be able to tell you. Okay, so now we're just gonna talk general. Mario Golf Super Rush again launches June 25th. Um, there's recently an overview trailer that revealed some new details, such as the new battle golf mode, as well as the playable roster of characters, some of the new outfits, a little bit more about the story mode details. So I thought we would just talk about things we're excited about for that game, things we might hope are in the game, predictions, wishes, like anything like that. Just in general, Mario Golf Super Rush, what are our impressions as we move into its release next month?
Yeah, so for the most part, I think that trailer really sold the game for me. And in the weird thing is like when we saw the initial trailer that in the Nintendo Direct, um the thing that sold me the most on the game was like, oh great, we're gonna have the RPG uh like single player mode that's like reminiscent of the old Nintendo handheld games come back. But upon seeing that the newest version or the latest build, I guess, or whatever of that in the trailer, it really like it doesn't seem like it's gonna be quite what I want it to be. It just seems like it's gonna be super bare bones, and I think it's just gonna be it's literally just there to level up your me to use, and like it's basically like a custom a thing way for you to customize your me to use in regular uh regular play, and like the challenges don't seem that great, and it doesn't seem like the like successor to like the Mario Golf games on Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance that I really hope for. But that's the only negative thing I had, like the negative impression I had of the overview trailer. Everything else is stuff that I wasn't as interested in, but now because of that, because of seeing the RPG mode the way it is, I'm way more excited for Battle Golf and whatever the other multiplayer golf mode,
Baby
and even
golf.
just like the character designs and everything else that we'll get into later. Like I'm more excited about that stuff now because I'm kind of
Now,
preparing myself for disappointment.
I have a question though, because I've never actually played Mario Golf or Mario Tennis on Game Boy. Can you explain to me, like, what are these RPG elements that people are looking for? Like, what is this RPG? Like, what are you asking for? Like, what is this?
How do I explain this with my like grade one memories of what this what this game was? So you're basically you're a new recruit, like if you're a student at this golf academy, and you go to all the like yeah, you're basically it's like you're learning how to play the game, and you're leveling your own player up, and you slowly go through, and like the Nintendo characters are there, but they're like think like
They're like the pro league, like yeah, they're like the highest level of competition in the golf academy.
and
Yeah,
basically like think of it kind of like Pokemon, where like you have like your gym challenges and you have the trainers and you're leveling up, but it's actually just other NPCs that play golf or tennis with you. And as you do like these mini games and as you play against opponents, your skills go up, and you can choose, okay, do I want to build speed, or do I want to build power, or do I want to build tricky or defense, or yeah. And that's how you could make your characters OP. It's also like items that you could get, like different rackets and shoes and things.
Yeah, but that's what I'm wondering is, so what looks different with the me story mode? Because isn't that the same concept? Isn't it you're just going around doing challenges, facing off against different Mario characters and stuff in order to build stats for the character? Isn't
But it
this
wasn't
it
just
the
Mario
same
characters.
concept?
There were like NPCs, kind of like how in Pokemon, like you have your bug catcher or you have your swimmer and things like that, right? And
And
this could
fair
just be
enough.
other
I
needs.
understand that, but
In all honesty,
fair. But did we actually was that something that people expected? Did people expect non-Mario characters?
I don't know. Maybe
no, I just I didn't expect that. I just wanted to see like an evolution of that gameplay and like the next step forward for the single player Mario Golf mode, but it doesn't seem like we're getting that. Like if anything, it's just gonna be a more condensed version of what we've already had, opposed to a step forward. And that's the only
Yeah.
disappointing thing for me, because like the game, I know like the Mario sports games have stepped away from having like these like more in-depth single player modes. And in all fairness, like the handheld games were the only ones that had these. The console Mario sports games never had really in-depth single player modes. But when Mario Tennis Aces brought like that said they're bringing single player mode, like this a single player mode into that game, that's when like the nostalgia for a lot of people came back. It's like, oh, it's gonna be really cool, and that became like a really big detractor in that game for me. Like that was pretty disappointing, and I don't want to be disappointed again for Mario Golf, especially when I wasn't that like I'm more high on other Mario sports series. Um, but I always like I really wanted to give Mario Golf its fair shake, and if they had that mode there, or uh, that would have been the thing that got me really invested. But now that I've seen this trailer and I've heard the excitement from all you guys about it, that actually has now become the new thing that like
Mm.
that I really want. I just want to have that really fun like community experience that we had with games like Animal Crossing and Pokemon and Smash Bros and even like Mario Tennis Aces. But just I think that I just don't want to get my hopes up again. Like that's the
That's
main
fair.
thing. But
See, maybe I've perceived it differently. Like I think like when I had seen the first trailer, I was like, oh yeah, like it's like because when everybody's like, oh, it's gonna be like the RPG mode from the Mario Tennis and Golf GBA, I didn't like I'd never played those, so what I had assumed, I was like, okay, so it's a story mode where you level. Like I had never understood what the RPG element of it was, but I had always assumed, okay, the RPG element was the fact that you level up a character, which is still there. You're still
yeah,
leveling up a character. But what I'm looking at it as is almost like rather than it being an evolution of the RPG mode, it's an evolution of Mario Tennis Aces story mode. It's similar to Mario Tennis Aces in the sense that like this is going to be a bunch of challenges and facing different characters and stuff like that, but they've added the added layer of like you're actually walking around as a me character
hmm
and everything you're doing is actually building this me character. So it's not like you're just playing the story mode for the sake of playing it. There's actually a purpose
Yeah.
to it now, which is that
yeah,
you're
like
creating a character.
and they did show that in the very first trailer, but I just felt like okay, there's always a chance that they're holding something back, something surprising back. And with this trailer, that's probably not the case. So, and that extra something I wanted would have been the step forward that I've been referring to, like taking this in the new direction, a modern direction, but it's just going to be more of the same, or it's going to be it's going to be different, but different in the sense that you're not going to have that like the community of like the
Yeah.
tennis academy or the golf academy that you went to. It's not going to be there. It's going to be just like Koopas and
Yeah.
Goombas and whatever. Everything
Yeah.
else though in the trailer, I that was it was really awesome. Like I'm really excited about the direction of the game in every other respect. And I could once again like the story mode could surprise me. It could be something I get hooked on. But
I'm still hoping for like a hub kind of like golf academy or something, and that you can go to and visit, and you can be like, oh, here's the golf trainer, or like you go to like the driving range and you can see like Wario and stuff like practicing his power swing or something like that, or like some or your friends me characters are like inhabiting this world also, just to make it feel more full, right?
Yeah. I think unfortunately I think the thing is when it comes to these games is their primary focus is always on creating the actual core gameplay and not
Yeah.
on things like
Yeah.
that,
mhm,
unfortunately. And I think that's always going to be the case with these Mario spin-off games because they're never super high budget games. Um, they're like really as cool as those things would be, they're not going to sell
Yeah.
units, right? And they're not going to like contribute to the life of the game. Like for example, if you asked me would you rather have that, what Gino just described, or like another full course of the golf gameplay? I would personally rather of another full course because that's what I'm actually playing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like the aesthetic and the environment of like the story mode might be cool, but realistically,
Some people might want to.
how many
Yeah.
times are you going to go through
Some
that
people might want
golf
more experience,
Yeah.
like
story, right?
another experience, kind of like what Golf Story did, right? Like that was basically like a spiritual successor to like the Mario handheld, like the RPGs,
Yeah.
right? Like for sports, and like something like that. A lot of people are like, "Hey, this would like we should like this should be a thing again," and that's why that game was made. It was to fill that niche, right?
Yeah. I also feel like back in those times though, I think part of the reason that they did things like the RPG elements is because let's be real. The core golf gameplay back on like the Game Boy or like the SNES was not very good, right? So they needed something to almost make those games more interesting because the fact of the matter is the core gameplay wasn't heavily intuitive or fun when you're playing on a 2D plane. Whereas now that we shifted to a 3D plane and the actual core gameplay is super well done, it's almost like do we really need to do that stuff because it's not really adding to anything?
But I don't know. Like I don't want to sound like a like beggars like can't be choosers kind of stuff. Like I'm happy we're getting a new Mario Golf game because I actually like I haven't played Mario Golf since the one on the Nintendo 64. Toadstool Tour I played maybe once and I don't remember it.
Yeah.
So it'll be good to kind of like get back into the swing of things. Eh? Okay, puns
funny.
aside.
I was hoping we'd move the conversation into um, the new fashion of
Yes.
Mario Golf, which
Yes.
is, and this is one of my favorite things about Mario Tennis Aces, and now what they're doing with Mario Golf Super Rush is they're like Nintendo has, I think this generation more so than ever has been so lenient with how they're interpreting characters, like even in Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, where like their core characters are now shifting up their outfits, and now they're doing that in the sports games. And Mario Tennis Aces was one thing, right? Like you had like Mario and Luigi and Waluigi and Wario had like visors and like small things, right? But now you're getting even more. Now almost every character has a golf outfit. Some of them are like really wacky. You got Wario in like a cowboy outfit. You got Waluigi in like a pimp outfit.
Yeah.
You got like I love like even just the style of the so like one like I love that they're bringing back Daisy's tan to show that she's from
Sarsaland?
Sarazland or how do you
I think it's the
Sarasland?
Haspera Land or something like that.
I thought it was Sarsaland or
Sarasara,
something.
yeah,
Who
something like
cares?
that. But anyway, they're representing her in that way, right? They're also I like how they're representing the personalities of the characters too. Like Pauline, like all the princesses slash females have golf outfits, but Pauline specifically, instead of wearing shorts or like a skirt, she's wearing pants because she's a professional,
And
and I
she's a
love that.
mayor.
I love how they're keeping. She's the mayor, right? Like she's like, I'm coming to golf, but I'm gonna still be like professional. And you got like Rosalina doesn't even hold the club. She literally just she uses her powers to move the club, which I think is hilarious. There's all these like little details that just make the game and the characters feel so like they're unique, more unique than they've ever been, but they're also so consistent with how the characters are.
Yeah, they're
You
it's
know?
like Nintendo's like playing into their like they're finally playing into their characters' lore that they've been making, right? And like, okay, these are the personality types that we have. These like let's do something with it.
Are the only characters that don't have outfits? It's King Bob-omb, which I think is
They have
fantastic that
different
he's in the
facial
game.
hair.
That's hilarious. Charging Chuck. Charging Chuck is like the Mario like enemy that like every Mario or like he's like the chain chomp of the game almost, or like
The
like
standard enemy that gets
He's the
elevated
Spike.
to a playable
or
character.
Spike. Yeah. He's a football player, but he's playing golf, and I like how like that's translated in his super swing or whatever it is. And then like
Yep.
I just think it's a missed opportunity not giving Donkey Kong and Yoshi like golf outfits. Like,
Yeah, Donkey Kong, Yoshi, and Boo are the only ones that don't have any kind of
well,
anything.
Boo's a
DK needs
ghost. He
plaid.
can't wear clothes.
So what? Who cares? Toad's wearing a hat on his hat. Boo can wear
Boo can have a
something.
crown,
Boo could have had
like
a
King
hat.
Boo.
But the one thing is another thing about the roster is that let's talk about how like they're probably gonna be. And I'm surprised they didn't talk about this honestly in the overview trailer. Is that character select screen is not full, and if it's gonna be like Mario Tennis Aces, they'll have like that's gonna be the way for Nintendo and Camelot to have constant like come back. People are going to be playing this game constantly to do like the tournaments or whatever, unlocking new characters, doing that way. And like there's some big omissions on that roster still, like Diddy Kong. Is Koopa Troopa in the
They
game?
need a Goomba.
Nope, no Koopas.
Koopa, Birdo.
Now, here's the thing, though, to like consider. Like, I'd love to believe that they're gonna do what they did before with Mario Tennis and just add, right? Which would make sense.
Mhm.
But in Mario Tennis Open on 3DS, they just added characters throughout the life using that QR code thing. Do you remember that?
Yep.
And they added different color Yoshis, they added Luma, they added Metal Mario, they added a bunch of characters through that. But Mario Golf on 3DS did not. Mario Golf on 3DS had paid DLC.
It was there was
So
a paid
that's
DLC on the 3DS.
that's the yes, there was paid DLC on the 3DS. So that's the question is like, well, are they going to do a Mario Tennis thing or are they going to go season pass with Mario Golf? Like maybe we didn't know this, but maybe Mario Golf performs better than Mario Tennis.
Well, that's the thing, but like I'd buy it anyways. To be honest with
I'd buy
you.
it too.
I'd buy
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
if
that's the
I
thing. Like,
enjoyed it, honestly. Like I think I bought, like, for instance, like even with Smash, like I bought the first fighter pass, got all the characters and everything that way, but I don't think I actually bought Fighter Pass 2 yet. But then again, I don't think I've played Smash since then. I wouldn't buy it right away. I'd want to see what I'm getting first. I'm one of those types of like
Yeah.
people when it comes to like DLC and stuff. I like to wait.
well, that's the thing though. Like, besides for multiplayer, like first party multiplayer games, aside from uh Smash Bros and the like sizable single player expansion to Splatoon 2 and the Octoling DLC,
That was good.
and like the Mario vs Rabbids, well, like Mario vs Rabbids, honestly I wouldn't even count, I guess, because like that's Ubisoft. But you got Arms, Splatoon 2's multiplayer, Mario Odyssey, like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe had new content just in the game. Like a bunch of first party Nintendo games had free DLC or just stuff like that they just rolled out for like and no strings attached. Like the fact, and Mario Tennis Aces, Derp, obviously that's probably the most relevant one to this, but like that's just a fantastic way to keep people interested in your games. And I feel like that strategy's worked for Nintendo really, really well in the Switch's lifespan, that I think it's a no-brainer to do it for Mario Golf, honestly. Like, I think there would be people upset if there was paid DLC just because of all the stuff that I just mentioned, all those other games that didn't have it. And like we said, like these games probably don't take, like, I'm not a developer, but like I don't think these games probably like how much work is it gonna to put like 6 or 7 or 8 characters in the game and just like do that extra work and then just roll those characters out slowly, or like extra
Yeah.
costumes. Like it's not something that seems like it'll be a lot of
Well,
work.
costumes, yes.
Especially when there's some glaring omissions from the roster as well, right?
What about how do you guys think, like, what of the, so now I was surprised that we were getting another multiplayer mode, because the speed golf looks really fun, but I actually think looking at this battle golf mode, the golf that's like in the stadium, I'm more interested in that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get two fantastic modes, but the battle golf seems like it's going to be way more fun. Just like
Yeah.
off of my like early impressions.
I think the idea behind battle golf is almost like a quick mode, right? Like battle golf is just like it's like a turf war. It's not going to be like traditional golf where it's very like course by course. Whereas even with speed golf, while it will obviously be quicker than playing a regular game of golf, it's still like you're going hole by hole. So it's still a longer, like if you're gonna do 18 holes, it's still a longer game. Whereas battle golf looks like it's the short game mode. Like you're like, hey, I got 20 minutes to kill with my buddies. Let's hop on and play a couple rounds of battle golf rather than doing like a full thing of speed
Yeah.
golf.
You'd think battle golf then would be called speed golf.
Well, the thing is, though, like I would
But
assume it. Like, no, battle golf is a good name, just because, like, okay, it's like a battle mode, right? You're in an arena.
honestly, though, the more we talk about it, the more I really want to play this
Yeah,
game. Oh God, I was very excited for Mario. Like we were all excited for Mario Tennis Aces, but I feel like hey, I missed out on a Mario Golf World Tour or whatever it was on 3DS. I remember the buzz around that game online. Like remember because like Mario Tennis Open came out on 3DS, and that was like it wasn't panned universally, but like people were like the other Mario Tennis games are better. This is a bit of a disappointment, and and Mario Golf had skipped out on the Wii generation. There hadn't been a Mario Golf game in a while. So people went into World Tour with low expectations and they were blown away by that game. I feel like the hardcore there's probably more of a hardcore following for Mario Golf than I ever thought there was. And I'm really excited to get into that. I always viewed Mario Golf before like on the N64 at least like it was kind of lame. It seemed like the games would take too long, and I would suck at it honestly. Like I would bogey or get
because you lack patience.
like double bogey, triple bogey. Yeah, I wanted that more like instantaneous, like faster gameplay that Mario Tennis offered. But now I feel like I'm the opposite way. Like Mario Golf, especially now with these multiplayer modes, seems like it can offer both.
I'm really hoping that what they do is because I don't know if you guys ever played a lot of um, Mario Golf World Tour on
Nope.
3DS, but one of the features in World Tour that was I really liked is if you played online or you played local or whatever with friends, right, on different Switches or on different 3DSs. Sorry. Um, so let's say we were playing online, right? Let's
Hmm.
say us three are going to play online and we're going to play a course. One of the nice things about what they did in the 3DS one was that we didn't actually have to wait for each other to go. Like it wasn't like you all had to watch me take my shot and then it was like Matteo's turn and then it was Gino's turn. What it was is we each played the hole individually and we could see the ghost of the other players doing their shots as we were doing it, and then once everybody was done the hole, it showed the scores for that hole and then moved on to the next hole. So it actually sped things up. And I hope
Yeah,
that's something that they bring back because I don't think that a game like Mario Golf, which is a slower paced game, like getting through an 18 hole course, especially if you're playing with four people and you have to wait and watch everybody's hit, like that can take 2-3 hours. And I'm worried about online connections. So I hope
yeah.
that they adopt that similar system for this game.
Well, I guess that's where speed golf came in, right? Like where everyone takes their shots at the same time, except they have their abilities and powers and stuff, right?
Yeah. Well, speed golf, the difference too is that the whole point of speed golf isn't like they're not counting strokes. Like it's just whoever gets it into the hole first wins the hole. Whereas regular golf gameplay would
Yeah.
matter, right?
Shall we move on to our final bit of discussion for this
Yeah.
episode? What other sports would you like to see Mario and friends play next?
Or what sport game would you like to see
Ooh.
revived?
Oh, yes.
Like what
So,
should come after Mario Golf Super Rush, essentially?
well,
Well, I'm going to say first,
yeah, go ahead.
and I will say it till the day I die. We need Mario's Superstar Boche.
Yes. Mario Bocce. The Italian plumber plays the Italian bowling game.
Italian Mario's lawn bowling.
Yeah. Mario Bocce.
For me, I'm a big hockey fan, and I wanted to talk about this when you were talking about Mario Sports Mix. But I think they did hockey dirty in Mario Sports Mix. Like it's fine, and I think it has to do with the fact that Nintendo, like I said, is not really willing to have that tone like that Mario Strikers had, and I feel like hockey would really fit that tone, honestly, more than soccer would. Nintendo just doesn't want to go down that road anymore with Mario, which I get. That's fine. But you could imagine, like Mario Hockey could have the fast pace that Strikers had, the big hits that Strikers had. It's basically just Mario Strikers on ice. You could have bigger teams, probably. You could have you could have like a roster the size of one of the Mario baseball games. You select your forward lines, your defense, and
Actually, I
your
would
goalie.
challenge you on that. I would
And
challenge you on that because that's the one thing I didn't like about Mario Baseball. The teams were virtually the same. You have the good guy players versus the bad guy players.
I understand why the chemistry system exists, but I also understand why. Like I understand why it's both good and bad. But because it's a team sport, you want to have good relationship with your teammates. But at the same time, if you don't want that, you can't play the game without it. Like you kind of need to have like the star abilities and stuff like the Mario baseball games. But in hockey, I don't know.
Hockey is all about
I
chemistry.
feel
Like you need to know what you're.
I understand. I know it is
Well,
hundred
every sport
percent.
is about chemistry.
Yeah, 100% hockey is. But like I just feel that, and the
I
only
think
reason
I think
probably
I
why
understand what
they
you
haven't.
mean.
Yeah, like I understand. Like the probably the reason they haven't done hockey is because hockey is not super popular. It's not a worldwide sport.
If they
Tennis
did
is
hockey,
popular. Yeah.
I do think I agree with Matteo. I think I would rather with hockey them do something similar to baseball rather than strikers in the sense that like rather than just picking your captain and then having generics be the rest of the team, I think it would be better to just pick everybody on the team. And they could easily do that if they did 3-on-3 with a goalie. And they don't have to bring in the chemistry system. Like that's something that doesn't need to be brought back. Like I feel the chemistry system was in Mario Baseball because it was in a way overwhelming to have like you have to pick 10 different characters, right? And so like there had to be a way to manage that, like who do I pick? Like I felt like there was a reason for it, but if you're only picking 3 characters on a team or 4 characters on a team, I don't think they need to have a chemistry system. Everybody could just have
Yeah.
a unique ability, right? And then that's just the reason you do it because there could be less characters because if it's a game where it's 4-on-4, then your roster can be 15 characters and you still have a giant, like you still have a lot of variety in who to pick. Whereas in Mario Baseball, when you have 9-on-9 and you still want to give variety, you had to have a ton of characters. So I think the chemistry system was there so that they didn't have to give individual skills to every single individual character because that would have been a lot to do with a roster of like 36 or whatever it was. How do you differentiate everybody? Whereas I
Uh-huh.
think in hockey they could easily. Like if they only had 16 characters, easily they could. And
Yeah,
then
and
you pick 4.
like I said with like the gameplay as well, like you could have it's hockey rink is gonna it's because like it's an enclosed space. You can have and hockey's a really fast sport, like fast paced sport. So that's why when I play strikers, I'm like in a way I'm like I kind of wish this was hockey, but
Yeah.
you could incorporate it would honestly it would feel a lot like strikers just because
Yeah.
like you would probably have some sort of item system in the game as well or something like that. I just think hockey hockey's a growing sport, and but I just like I said, it's not a global sport yet. It might not ever be.
Yeah.
So that's probably the biggest turn off for
Yeah.
Nintendo to make it. But as a big hockey fan, I would absolutely
Yeah.
love that.
Or a way to combine the like for instance, like you don't have all like the generic characters like you would have in Strikers, but it also combines that like other like what you have with Mario Baseball, you have like the massive roster, right? Like okay, hockey, you have your captain, you have 2 assistant captains, and then you have like everyone else. Like you could pick your main captain, just say be Mario. You have your assistant captains, just say be like Peach and Luigi. You can have you can have a chemistry system between your assistant captains, just say, and then the generics could be like, okay, you have the rest will be like Goombas or Koopas or something, right? Like a bit of like almost a hybrid system. That would be cool. But then again, like I don't want to like theory craft what like a potential game would be, right? Even though that would be really fun.
Did you have one to share?
I was
Gino?
going to say bring strikers back, honestly, because that was just good fun. But I like the hockey discussion, and it kind of like I agree with Matteo where like I felt like the style of strikers would fit like a hockey game more because it inherently is like more of like a tough sport. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
See, what I would love is, and I am not a fan of the sport in the slightest, but I'd be interested if Mario did it. I've always wanted to see a Mario football game. And I think a football Mario game would need to be similar to baseball in the sense that they give you a big variety of characters to choose from. And there might need to be a chemistry system. Or they could go the strikers route and just have it be you pick a few. Like you pick your quarterback and you pick your whatever, and then like the rest of them are just charging chucks or hammer bros or whatever you want to
Oh, Charge and
choose,
Chuck would be
right?
perfect for that game.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
Well, duh.
But I would love to see a Mario um, football game as well. I know they had in development a Mario volleyball game at one point for Wii that was canceled called Super Mario Spikers.
Yeah, I remember seeing like it was like a render of Waluigi or something like volley, like doing a volley or something. But that game, I think it was canceled because they didn't like the personnel, like the tone of the game or something like that. It was gonna be like Strikers. But that game, was that made by Next Level or was that made by another studio?
I will fact
I don't
check for
remember.
you right
I th-
now.
I think it was Next Level.
It was Next Level, yes.
The Next Level Games is owned by Nintendo now, so that's the thing. Like, I don't think they'd be put on projects like Mario sports games anymore. I feel like Nintendo's probably gonna, like, they trusted them with Punch Out and Luigi's Mansion. Like, I feel like they're gonna be gearing up to be like kind of like the next retro in a way, where like Nintendo's gonna probably trust them with bigger projects. So like if Strikers were to ever come back, I don't think it would be done by Next Level Games anymore, unless it would be like a bigger and grander version of Mario Strikers somehow. But uh, that's my 2 cents at least there. But for now, it's probably just gonna be Camelot's gonna be flip flopping between tennis and golf, and that's probably all we're gonna get, to be honest with you. At least that's what it seems like it's gonna be.
Yeah, but wasn't Camelot working on the sports
But
games for like a really long time? It's like, or at least since the GameCube.
yeah, Camelot did Mario Golf and Mario Tennis, but they took the Wii generation off because there was no new Mario Tennis and there was no Mario
Hey,
Golf
they had new
in the
play
Wii generation.
controls.
Then they came back for the Wii U generation with Ultra Smash, which was terrible, and they did uh
Well, it was just
they
Hey,
generic.
came back. Sorry, they
Ultra
came
Smash
back on
was not a
3DS.
bad
It was just
game.
generic.
It just had bad. It was generic. It had a very small roster, very few game modes, and like the core gameplay of Ultra Smash was not bad. It was literally just everything else.
I can't be mad at Mario Tennis Ultra Smash though, like honestly, because that game basically paid off all our Nintendo
Yep.
Switches.
That
Mhm.
and Star Fox.
Yeah, that will be a
Um,
story I think we will tell one day,
one day.
eventually.
So I wanted to also just I'm gonna go back to Mario Spikers because it turns out so I'm like reading into it a little bit about what it was supposed to be, and it reminded me of one more Mario sports game I've wanted.
All
But
right.
apparently, so what it was actually the reason it was shut. Do you know the reason why it got canceled?
No.
I thought it was because of the tone of the game or something
It
like that.
was. So it was because of the tone of the game. So apparently, it wasn't just a volleyball game. So the Super Mario Spikers was supposed to be a hybrid of volleyball and wrestling with elements of game show as well. And Games Radar cited that they understood why Nintendo shut down the game because there was an animation where Waluigi stomps on a downed Mario. Like apparently it was like super violent because it was like volleyball, but then like with the excessiveness of like wrestling,
like WWE.
like WWE kind of wrestling.
But
So,
how
but
does that
You would like run to the other
go
side
on?
and like beat them up.
Yeah,
I
like
don't
that's
know.
what I think. There's a net. You know, you're not in volleyball, in actual volleyball, you're not supposed to like you have to stay on your side of the net. Like if you go over the net, they give the point to the other team or the other person. So that like they would have like that would be but honestly like that would be truly unique then if that's the thing. Like that's the
Yeah,
Nintendo that would have been their twist on it. But yeah, I could see they don't want like Waluigi pal driving like Princess
yeah,
Peach or like Yoshi or Toad or something like
yeah,
that.
exactly. But that brings up that another game I've always wanted was a Mario wrestling game. I've
Yeah.
always thought it would be fun to have a Mario wrestling game. Some kind of like I personally I would want it to be more like closer to like something like pro wrestling, like WWE, than something like MMA, like boxing. Um,
Show wrestling would fit like the whole Mario Superstar kind of vibe, right? Because they'd have all these crazy moves and
that's what I
stuff.
mean.
Hmm.
That's what I was gonna say, and I think it could work because I understand Nintendo had reservations about Super Mario Spikers because it was a bit too violent, but I think there's a way to use the overtop wackiness of the Mario series to make something like a pro wrestling Mario game work. Because if you make it over the top enough, it's no longer violent, right? Like, of
Just
course,
silly.
hitting somebody over the head with a hammer is violent, but in Tom and Jerry, when it's the wacky giant-sized hammer, like it's not violent anymore; it's just silly and wacky. And I think there's a way you can do that with Mario, where you can just make everything really silly and over the top, um, where it doesn't even seem like violent anymore. At least no more violent than something like Super Smash Bros.
That's like legit
I was
chopping
about
people
to
with
say
swords and
like
stuff.
Mario. Well, hey, no, Nintendo's fine with characters tackling each other into like electric fences in Mario
Yeah,
Strikers and their mascots beating the crap out of each
with
other in
like
Smash
headbutts
Bros.
and
But
things.
they, yeah, but they're not fine with that. But like, wha- wha- I guess that's what Smash Bros.
Yeah,
Has to be that way.
it
Like
might be the context of the like, and that's why I think a wrestling game might work. It might be the context of like, this is what they're doing. Like in Smash Bros, they're supposed to be fighting. In wrestling, they're supposed to be fighting. I feel like Nintendo had reservations because it was like they were playing volleyball, and it was almost like poor sportsmanship. Like they're playing volleyball. Mario probably like hit the spike in, or Waluigi probably hit the spike into Mario. Mario fell down, and then Waluigi runs to the other side and starts like curb stomping him. Like, yeah, that's probably not what you want to show in a kids game. But if they're there to wrestle, if they're there to fight, and that's the purpose, I feel like the context is different.
do you guys have anything else to add to
Honestly, I think that
conversation?
sums it up quite nicely. Like, I don't want to like extend out more than we need to. I think this one's nice. This is good.
Yeah, I thought it was a good.
The moral of the story is that we're excited for Mario
Yep.
Golf, and we want Strikers to come back
Yep. We got to get
somehow.
Joe to number 6 in the
But
world. Well, yeah. Matteo, you want to do the outro?
okay, yeah. So thanks everyone for listening to the latest episode of the Hub World Podcast. We are going to, I guess, we'll closer to E3. We're gonna probably give out our full plans for what we're going to be doing because we're all very excited for what we're going to be doing for E3. It's going to be very special. So as always, thanks for listening. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment. We'd like to know your opinions on Mario Sports Series. Are you excited for Mario Golf? What Mario Sports Series would you like to see in the future? Also, listen to us on Spotify, and most importantly, like and subscribe if you want Waluigi and Smash. But if you want the other character that will not be mentioned, please do not do what I just said. But anyways, thanks for listening. We'll see you next
Bye.
time.